This got creepy. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a website to look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 32nd episode of the show Power Rangers in Space, as well as the 282nd episode overall titled Carlos on Call. We start this episode with a surf spot where Carlos is going ham on an arcade machine. Some girl is standing there watching him. She then sits down on a step, still watching. Then her mom comes over, giving her coins. She says hi to Carlos, and apparently she was a teacher at Angel Grove High. So did Carlos graduate? This is her daughter Sylvie. She then goes to go get her kid a soda, so she asks Carlos to watch her. Bitch, he ain't no babysitter. Carlos then tells Sylvie to watch the master as he plays the arcade game. He dies immediately and he says that it must be broken. Sylvie says that he just sucks, so he tells her to try. Of course, she's amazing at the game, but oh my god, they're using Japanese footage for her hand movements. Wow, this show. Her mom shows up again, so Carlos heads out. His communicator then goes off and he tries to find a place to use it, but he can't. That's a unique issue for this show. He then spots a photo booth, hopping inside. Carlos and the others, minus Andros, are at the docks looking for a monster. They then find him, and he fires at them, hitting them down. Also, this guy has Invader Zim's voice. Also, Sylvie finds the photo booth photos from Carlos, and it's literally photos of him morphing, and she just goes, wow, he's the Black Ranger, in the most bored voice ever. I feel like that could have been a little bit more eventful, but okay. At the fight, the Rangers are on the ground, but they go after the monster again, but TJ gets tossed around. The monster then yells for scanning, which seems to do nothing. Andros comes flying in and he uses his Astro Blaster on the guy. He disappears. On the Dark Fortress, Astronema is watching footage of this dude scanning again, and apparently this is excellent. The monster is named Data Scammer, and he has info now. The Psycho Rangers are also there itching to fight the Rangers, arguing amongst themselves. Astronema tells them that they already understand the Rangers' strength, so chill out. On the megaship, Carlos is stretching and some robotic-ass voice says, you have email. He checks it and it's a letter to the Black Ranger. They want to meet him at the Fun Center at noon. He assumes it's the Psycho Rangers, which raises a lot of questions as to why they would want to meet at the Fun Center. Also, why would he go alone then? He shows up at the Fun Center, checking his non-existent watch. Sylvie is there saying hi to Carlos, and he tries to tell her that he's super busy right now with very super important work, so she needs to fuck off. He pesters him again and Carlos immediately gets rude with his child. He then asks if she's even allowed to be there, and he says that it's a bad time to hang out, so he pushes her away. She then says that he's kind of slow for a Power Ranger, fessing up to the whole email. Carlos immediately denies being a Power Ranger and he says that it was all a lie, but then Sylvie shows him the photos of him morphing, which makes him just go, oh no. This girl is lucky she didn't end up getting shot on sight. Later, Sylvie has so many prizes and crap and Carlos is exhausted. She offers her lollipop, but Carlos says no. He then says he doesn't want to play marbles. They should go home, but then Sylvie gives him a pager saying that this is just in case that she needs him. He says he's not her personal ranger, but then Sylvie starts to yell about how he's a Power Ranger, which makes Carlos agree. On the ship, everyone's in the lounge and Carlos has told them about everything that's going on. They tell him he needs to put his foot down and Carlos gets mad, but then he starts to wonder what if she starts to tell people. The pager then beeps and he looks, saying he has to meet her at the Fun Center again. They're on a merry-go-round now, which I'm pretty sure is the exact same one he and Ashley went on a date to before. Also, bumper cars. Carlos is very over this as she drags him along to some teacups. At her house, Sylvie is celebrating, talking about how great her day was. Carlos is so pissed off. She then tells Carlos that there's just one more thing she wants, and if he does it, she'll never bug him again. He asks what? She says that she wants a rock from the moon. Carlos says, just one rock? Why not the whole moon? And he goes off. He says that he's a Power Ranger and he needs to be there, but instead he's babysitting her. He tells her to keep the photo until whoever the fuck she wants, storming off as Sylvie looks sad. In his dorm, Carlos is sitting up thinking. There's a knock on the door and it's Ashley. Remember when these two were friends? Carlos is mad still about Sylvie, but Ashley says there's something he should know. Now at a doctor's office, a doctor is explaining that Sylvie's brother became very ill, so they moved to Angel Grove to get help. And then he died a couple months ago. What the fuck? That came out of nowhere. What the fuck is this? The doctor even has a picture. Why? Why is he telling them anything? This is so illegal. Also, he says Sylvie promised to go to the moon for Sylvie's brother and get a moon rock or whatever for him. Carlos rushes out and Ashley follows and he gives her the pager, running away. Now Carlos is morphed in space. Also, Sylvie's at the grave of her brother because this episode got dark. Then Data Scammer shows up out of absolutely nowhere, chasing Sylvie, who rushes into a phone booth. She starts dialing the pager. It goes off in Ashley's hands and she sees that Sylvie is in trouble. Data Scammer then rushes after her, but she hides in some bushes. Somehow Data Scammer can't find her, and Sylvie goes the opposite way, but somehow still runs into Data Scammer. Then he gets shot from off screen and it's the Power Rangers. Carlos tells her to run and she does. The Rangers start to pose and Data Scammer fires at them. Andros uses 0-1 from the Battleizer, punching Data Scammer a few times. They then take out the Quadra Blaster and Spiral Saber Astro Blaster combo, firing at Data Scammer. Astronema fires the Satellasers, making Data Scammer giant. He tries to step on the Rangers, and then they use their Astro Blasters on him for some reason. He then fires at them on the ground, so they call out their Mega Voyager. It comes out and combines, and now it's the Mega Voyager versus Data Scammer. They get fired on a few times, but then they disappear. Data Scammer runs over to find the Mega Voyager in the air, who uses the Mega V3 missile to blow him up. Astronema watches this, saying that everyone has failed her. Ecliptor then lets her know that the Psycho Rangers actually, they left on their own to fight the Power Rangers. Astronema demands that they're brought back immediately. Sylvie's on the ground saying thanks to the Rangers, but then Psycho Red grabs her and the Rangers freak out, jumping out of the Mega Voyager. As soon as they land, he tosses Sylvie aside, and he goes after the Rangers. Sylvie hides as the 5 Rangers struggle against just Psycho Red. Where did the rest of them go? Andros has a laser duel with him, which he loses pretty hardcore, but then he gets hit onto the ground with no moves left to do. Then steam comes out of nowhere, hitting Psycho Red down. It was Psycho Black, who says that Red is being selfish, and then they start fighting too. They both leave. Okay, random. Sylvie then comes out and Carlos holds her up, hugging her. On the Dark Fortress, Psycho Red and Black are arguing when Astronema tells them that they suck and they should be quiet. She says that from now on they'll handle one Ranger at a time, and the first one up will be Pink. Psycho Pink says she's ready. At Sylvie's house, Carlos is walking her back home. She says goodbye to Carlos, but then she tells Carlos that she's sorry, giving him the photos. She asks if they can still be friends, and Carlos says yes. And then he remembers that he has a rock from the moon for her. Dude was about to leave without ever giving that to her like 3 seconds ago. She's very excited, hugging him. Now he's going to take her somewhere better than any roller coaster ever. He says he'll show her. This got creepy. Also, it turns out he took her into space. What the fuck? They're on his galaxy glider and Sylvie says that now she wants to be a Power Ranger. And Carlos says to keep dreaming and it may come true. Also, now they're off to see the moons of Jupiter. This little girl's gonna die in space. The end. This episode is cringe, but also surprising. I mean, okay, the entire plot isn't bad because a little kid finding out who a Power Ranger is kind of funny. Especially when it's Carlos, who has had such little focus this entire season. But then, her brother is dead and we see the grave of a 12-year-old, so like, this episode is just overall bonkers. I mean, why? Why didn't they just make it so that Carlos blew up on a girl and then he had to learn patience? They didn't have to have her have a dead brother who was only introduced into the story by some doctor who is breaking all of HIPAA laws by telling these 2 random teenagers about him. I mean, overall this episode's fine, I guess, but its placement is very strange because it's in the middle of this really intense Psycho Ranger saga. And really, it just feels weird. I mean, the Psycho Rangers show up as like an afterthought, and it's just awkward as hell. Next time, we return full steam to the Psycho Rangers, but until then, may the power protect you.